Well, my name's Nigel Shrive. I'm a professor in civil and biomedical engineering at the University of Calgary. When I started, I was studying load transfer through the knee. And there's a tissue in the knee called a meniscus, which at the time was just thought to be just in the way. And I managed to show that, in fact, it's probably the major component of load bearing across the knee. I was able to devise an artificial knee, which is still being used worldwide. It also shifted clinical practice from taking out a torn meniscus to trying to repair it. The knee I invented was the Oxford knee. It's been used for 50 years now. I would say the number is in the millions of people that it has been implanted in. We'd gone up to Sheffield to a meeting of the British Orthopedic Association, where I'd made a presentation about the meniscus and what it does and how it works. On the way back down, driving in John Goodfellow's car, they sort of said, well, now you know how it works, don't you think you could invent an artificial knee? And I went down to the engineering building the next day and I bumped into my supervisor and I said, you know, I had this idea, why don't we have a knee that looks like this and does this? And he looked at me and said, get in the car. So we made one and stuck it in a cadaver, and it worked like a dream. It was just an amazing thing from just a comment in a car ride to the Oxford knee, yeah. It was fun. My tutor at undergraduate said, have you ever done biomedical engineering? That, I think, was probably the biggest pivotal moment that ever happened, because once I'd started on that, it was just roll along. There were three of us that worked together. There was the orthopedic surgeon, Cy Frank, there was a cell molecular biologist, Dave Hart, and myself doing the functional side. The three of us together were able to make inroads that no one else was able to, because you needed the three combinations of expertise to be able to put the picture together. So it was an encouragement from senior management in both faculties of engineering and medicine at the time that started us. Now we have a biomedical engineering department. That wouldn't have happened if people hadn't allowed the research to just get going. We put that team together and nobody said don't, everybody said do. So we did. In the civil engineering field, I've looked at all sorts of structures, but mainly masonry ones. So the standard that's in Canada for designing masonry has been altered by what I've done. So when you walk into a building, you can be assured now that we've got a better idea of why it's safe. When you discover something that hasn't been explained or hasn't been understood before, that sort of makes you feel good. But the other thing is, looking at the enthusiasm of the graduate students, I mean, that is just keeps you alive. Recognition that one has done something useful with one's life is nice, but I think even more, it gives you the confidence and the enthusiasm to keep doing it, do more.